lakes all my life.
Yeah.
Boating, a lot of it.
Where'd you grow up at?
It was Wawasee, Lake Wawasee.
Oh, yeah?
I went to grade school up to junior high in Syracuse area, at Syracuse. My brothers graduated from Syracuse High School. I moved to Noblesville when I was a freshman in high school. Worked at this, actually it was Morris Docks at that point in time. Then later, after college, did the sales thing, and then I got involved, I guess, with Red Bridge Park in Cicero, and that's how I got to know the Shorewood people. Shorewood at that time had just donated the park to Cicero, and I was basically the first superintendent of and developed that park for Cicero. I did a few things, sales and everything, and opportunity came to get into this type of work. I enjoyed it. So I got into it, and I competed with Shorewood and did pretty well, I think. They offered me a job to come down here as we were starting to develop this community. Down the first summer, probably '82, and started preparing a plan. I think '83 was the first year that we had operations.
You had docks actually out there?
We started with about 60 docks that were left over, probably less than that actually. We brought some down from Morris. Yeah, probably.
Which neighborhood was being developed back then? Was it Masthead?
Masthead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so were you building docks for those residents?
No, we weren't in the dock building business at that point in time.
Just the slips out here?
Just slip rental. We had the slip rental, and we had a launching ramp here, and had a little restaurant called The Catch that opened the first year, and that was about it.
Was The Catch one of Shorewoods?
That was operated, yes. Actually, it was operated by my wife.
Oh yeah? Was it in one of those buildings over here?
It was where Rick's Dockside was, and then we operated it 2 years, and then leased the building to Rick Albrick, who owns the Rick's Boat Yard over on Eagle Creek.
Yeah.
First couple of years, of course, it was brand new. There weren't many people here. There was no basis for a restaurant, so we operated the restaurant at a loss, knowing we would. But we wanted to get people coming out here. It was good for the marina business, also good for the development business. In 2 years, the business had grown to where people like Rick at that time was operating Rick's Cafe at Union Station.
So Rick was interested in coming out. Was that, you said like 85 or so?
I'm thinking 85.
How long was Rick's boat here?
Rick was here 5 or 6 years, at least 5, possibly a little longer, before we built the Blue Heron.
Did he move into the Blue Heron then?
No.
He just left when the Blue Heron came in?
Yes, and different operators came in and did the Blue Heron. This is where we're at right now.
Oh, wow.
Initially, this was our first office space. This building's down, of course this is down. That's down. That was their first neighborhood patrol.
Oh, wow.
Let's see here. This is what's in front of the Blue Heron, or Bella Vita now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if there's a picture. Well, you're standing at this picture. You're standing on the Bella Vita deck. No, okay. There's our ramp looking across the ramp, and this is where the Bella Vita was.
Wow.
These are pictures of the year I came down to develop a plan.
Yeah.
These boats were not here. And my first project basically was to clean this all up.
And who built all that stuff?
The individual boat owners involved, certain kids or whatever they did, and they weren't necessarily in the dock building. It's more in the evolution process of the marina, I think. We've had deers trapped in the docks, and of course boats sink. We had a huge boat fire one time. I mean, that's not funny at all. But
how many boats were burned?
probably 9 or 10 or more. I've got some video at home on that if you're ever interested. I'll try and get them to you.
See that.
One of the kids that worked here you may know him, Chris Schulhoff.
Yeah.
He was working for me. And this is really the start of the people having video cameras, VHS cameras. And he always had one with him. And of course, he wasn't worried about boats. He was worried about filming the fire, thinking he's going to sell this to the news outlets. There certainly was an evolution. And the growth was pretty substantial each year. I think the realization that we couldn't grow anymore was dictated by parking spaces. By going north with the launching ramp freed us up parking spaces for here. Of course, we put the Marina Village in, and that required parking spaces. That used to be just a wooded area, and at one time, I don't have any pictures of that here, but that was where people first pulled in. We had a security house there, and we collected ramp fees. Of course, that went away with that portion of the development. So I think when the Blue Heron came in, earlier on, we'd actually committed to so many docks we were not going to outgrow the parking requirements. That was probably mid-90s. We realized we were, as far as number of slips available, maxed out because we had to eliminate the traffic of launching because of this building for the boat sales and service department. And everything kind of came into place probably late 80s, 90s as far as service. Now we're into the service business, and we needed space for a lot of these little businesses.